Hey, good morning, everyone. So here we are, we're in the stairwell at the Sheraton Hotel in Pasadena, California. And it has some unique features in that the steps are exposed. And what that's allowing me to do is to have a point of resistance against which I can perform these yogic movements that are aligning and balancing of my physiology as at the same time as I'm descending and being active and flexing muscles and helping blood get pumped and helping that circulatory system maintain that constant circuit. Why? Because everything's being moved dynamically within a very small range. Like it's as if your body is a trillion placid oceans, placid seas. You know those water molecules are moving, but it's only when there's a flexion. It's only when there's a trillion flexions of muscles and signals that are being sent from the brain to the muscle to contract. It's all being governed by electromagnetism, thermodynamics, and gravity. Constantly gravity. It's an invisible aspect of the universe, just like air is invisible. If we could make gravity visible like smoke enables us to see air, clouds enable us to see air and moisture. It would be technology that I think would be worthy of a lot of venture capital in, some kind of, because it changes. If you go up to a higher altitude, the force of gravity drawing you back down is accelerating or decelerating the force of gravity. And the atmosphere is changing. We discovered that, we calculated that. We had a system for digitizing arithmetic in a verifiable way, and that's because of every human civilization ever, any civilization that needed precision metrics for determining harvests, for determining the levels of inundated fields and the flow of the tides. There has always been some need to document in a way that's verifiably and trustingly agreed to. Okay, I'm gonna do another video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for listening. This entire experience has just heightened the confidence that I have in myself to articulate these ideas. This uThrones system truly is a way of perfecting the inner self, overcoming whatever insecurities or inconsistencies there are with our outer selves. Leveraging our power of air acquisition to enhance our inner self, our invisible inner self. And that can be done with slow breathing, slow movements. Those become the exercise. Those become the gym, working in the garden, making up cardiovascular things to do because you're actively trying to make it the exercise activity for yourself. Mimic those movements of complete activation, complete waviness, and then be the lines. And then go between them in incremental ways. in rhythms of 5 to 6 seconds, give or take a couple. There's a time to open your mouth there's a time to open your eyes and activate those muscles in a new way. Just like there's a time to flex them closed. When you close your eyes and you close your mouth, you can more intensely make that occur. So there's a trillion variations on the intensity and the positioning of the rest of the body while that's occurring. And if you're conscious of those other features, those other parts of you, then that's going to make you 2% better. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to fail at things. You're still going to continue to be the imperfectly perfectible creature that you are. And that you can be better. You can be more of that. You can activate the better angels of our nature. Like everybody has these dualistic aspects of that are engaging in a dialogue, a discourse about what to do. Understanding how to navigate that process of inner debate and inner justification, inner synthesis that's consistent with what we know to be true in the world. Sometimes that's by experience, sometimes that's by using other people's experience. I don't have to reinvent the telescope. Newton did that. I don't have to invent the heliocentric, sun-centric idea of the universe. I don't have to go to the top of Mount Wilson, build an observatory, and see other galaxies. These are experiential. We can all see them. We can all know them. Electricity, that's what's making this possible. It's human mastery of the world that makes these technologies possible. And that's something that everyone needs to share. Everyone needs to learn how to integrate it and redefine the divine. Because it's that is responsible for the discriminatory policies of many governments, the authoritarian policies of many governments. There are these methods by which they say to their supporters, they justify it somehow, they villainize, or they make, they reify, they reinforce the division by the platforms that their parties devise. And there's a spectrum of altruism and cynicism. There's a lot on both sides. And the way to bridge that divide, to some extent, it's not everything, is to integrate this postural support, this postural scaffold that you're using to enhanced that feature that must have made us such a freak. Every other ape, none of them can stand as straight as us. None of them, although they're great athletes in their own regard. Imagine us being like parkour. That would have been the natural way for us to move. Jumping tree to tree, swinging. Human animals can do that because they're breathing most naturally. They're breathing through their nose, which is, there are some people who are genetically privileged, genetically blessed to have central nervous systems, DNA blueprints for bone growth, for muscle formation, muscle type, muscle ratios. How much fat do you have? Everybody has them, but they're all in different quantities. They're all calibrated slightly differently. And everyone has some benefit in some environment. The key is to understand what it is and attack it as a weakness. Attack it like something that you love. Think about it like a child. Think about it like a friend. Think about it like an enemy, like something that you really care about. Maybe like your partner, your wife, your husband. Whatever. Recognize it and use it to empower you further. And for me, the uThrones have done that. Because of my cancers. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. So I have to do things, I have to integrate whatever I can that's relatively easy to implement and enhancatory and empowering for me, because I'm almost at a deficient. I'm handicapped. I'm handicapped by these injuries. I've had brain surgery twice. I'm a 2-time brain cancer survivor. So if there's something that I can do to increase that ability, I'm going to try to do it as well as someone can. And it starts with breathing. It starts with understanding the infinite combinations of ways to breathe and the infinite combinations of muscles that can be contracted and relaxed, and the speeds and the spacing of those occurrences is changing the neurobiological system, because unless your body has had that unique coordination of muscles in those distances, in those dimensions, for that amount of time, coordinated with that unique oxygen CO2 relationship based on the way in which you've been breathing, you're better for it. You can make those connections from the atomic to the molecular to everything that we know about science and self-enhancement and all of these different ways in which sometimes the tactics that were used before are proving themselves to be lost, to have been lost or de-emphasized for longer than they should have been. We threw them out, or we diminished their importance. Why? Because we didn't explain. We don't know how to integrate an explanation for phenomena that isn't based on magical thinking. That's so easy to disprove.